If you have yourself a Bulldog remote start system and you need to program a remote, add a remote, whichever the case is, I'm going to show you how it's done either way. So first off, I'm going to break it down into two separate sections. The first section being as if you had no remote, lost your remote, and you're starting from scratch. So that, of course, is the worst case scenario. Now, I have the main module. This one here in my hand is a model RS82B. Okay, it doesn't matter if this is your exact one, but close enough, I'm sure. Bulldog is pretty, straightforward across their lines. Most of their systems look very much the same. Look at that, they actually give you an 800 number to call, which is hard to read, I'm sure, on that camera, but if you need it anyway, what the heck, 800-878-8007. But what do you need them for? You got me. So I'm sure you got your remotes there, and you bought them from me because I got the best deals on them. Now let's just get back to it. Now if you have no remotes, all gone, no remotes, so what you need to do is you need to do what's called a master reset on your system. And how you do this is you get in your vehicle, sit down in your seat, take your brake, hold it down, and don't let go. Keep holding it. Then you have to take your key, cycle it like this. On, off, on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off. So you got 5 times. You're turning it on and off 5 times. At that point, release the brake, take the key out of the ignition, get underneath your dash. You should already have this main brain module handy. Unplug all your harnesses from here. So you got this secondary harness, this plug, over here all your powers, disconnect all that stuff. Leave it alone for about a half a minute or a minute or so. What this is going to do is going to tell the brain, once you plug it back in, it's going to start looking for a new RF code automatically. So once you plug all the stuff back into the brain, the unit's going to click 3 times and the lights will blink most likely, depending on the model. Okay, once that happens, you're going to get in there. Say if you only have one remote, just hit any button on that transmitter, hold it until it confirms by clicking back at you. Now you've learned a remote successfully. Okay, but in this case, we're going to use 2 to make it a little bit more difficult for me and more helpful for you, because you may have 2, 3, or even 4 remotes for your system. So I want to do a thorough job and cover all this stuff. So we already know that we've programmed this one here successfully. Now let's move on to adding a transmitter. Okay, so what you're going to do there is you're going to press and hold the brake and hold down button 1 on the working remote for approximately 5 seconds, or until the parking lights flash 1 time. Release button 1 on this remote and press any button on the new remote. The parking lights will flash 3 times and the new secondary remote will be learned. And you would repeat that if you had a 3rd or a 4th transmitter. That's all there is to it. It's not a very complicated thing, at least when you have the information available to you. It's much more helpful. And thankfully, I'm sure people are going to be thankful, because this company got bought out by the worst company there is, which is Viper, and God knows their tech support is non-existent. So thank God that people like me share this information, because when Bulldog sold to them, the whole thing went downhill. It's not the same. And just another note, on the remotes that I'm using, just for your own reference, this one here, the 2 button, is a TX2BD. TX is for transmitter, 2 is for the amount of buttons, BD is for Bulldog. This 4 button that I'm utilizing here is on the bottom. It says C705, and above it, it has a really long number. It's J3, the hell is it? See, I can't see it. J3S004SCHOO. So if you have one of these guys, you're on the right track, because this is the one that's pertaining specifically to you. So that's how you program the Bulldog. That's it.